All right, boys and girls, are you ready to get painting? We are going to be using our watercolors, and I have my station set up here with a cup of water. My brush from my watercolor tray is soaking and ready to go. I've got some paper towels here, and of course, you need your painting. So last art class, we outlined our pumpkins, we thickened some of the lines so we have some dimension and some emphasis, and today we're going to go crazy with the colors just like Romero Britto. He uses oranges, yellows, pinks, reds, blues, greens, every color that we see here except for these last two. These dark, sad colors of brown and black are not allowed in Romero Britto's work. Except for his thick black outlines, the darkest color he may use is purple. So we are pretending these don't even exist on our tray. We are using these 6. And by the way, did you know that these are the 6 colors on our color wheel? Yes, we have the primary colors of red, yellow, and blue, and in between we have the secondary colors of orange, green, and purple. So how about that? So if you are ready, I am ready. Pull my sleeves up, and when we start painting, we make sure that our brush is nice and wet. Now, I have used these watercolors already, so some of them are a little wet already. But take, for instance, purple. Haven't touched it yet. So if yours are dry, you take your brush, get it wet, and swirl it into the color. Because we will be using all of these colors, it is very important that you rinse your brush anytime you change color. Remember old Mr. Brush? Yes, he wants to make sure you keep your brush nice and pointy. No paint gets on the handle or on the silver part. When you paint, you are just gliding that color on. Ooh, look how bright this purple is. I do not have a lot of water on my brush, which means that my purple is very vibrant. The more water I add, so if I dip in my brush and I just smooth this out, look at the difference in color. Now, if you like that color, that is perfectly okay to use. The only thing that you have to be careful about, if you remember in his paintings, he used very flat color, meaning inside each shape is only one consistent color. That means if I start with dark purple here, I have to fill this whole shape with that same dark purple. If I like this sort of lighter pinkish purple, I can make sure I can do that, of course, but I have to do that in another section. So the color should read the same through the whole shape. Now we're gonna be painting every single spot on this painting. So it's gonna take a lot of careful work, but since I've already started with purple here, I'm gonna keep the purple on my brush, and I am going to paint some other sections with purple. Instead of going back and forth, switching colors, rinsing, changing, wiping, drying, it's so much easier to just get all of the purple done in one time. This is gonna save you a little bit of time, and it's gonna save some wear and tear on your brush and less chance for accidents, spilling water, and all that happy stuff that can happen. So I am going to go ahead and fill in some purple in my picture. I'm going to be careful that if I put some here and I put some here, I don't want to put some where it's touching, because I don't want all my purple in one section. I want to spread it throughout the painting. So another good spot for purple may be somewhere over here. So maybe I will do this part with a pattern with some purple. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish all of my purple areas. All right, I think I have enough purple for now. I could always go back and add more if I decide I need some more purple. So I'm going to switch colors. I'm going to rinse my brush really, really good. And then maybe, since I did purple, maybe I'll go down on this end and I will do some red. So I'm going to swirl my brush. I made sure I rinsed it really good. When you swirl your brush in the color, you want to make sure the color stays within its own pan. You don't want to start mixing the colors because then you end up with one muddy color instead of all of your beautiful individual primaries and secondaries. So let's start with some red. Finished my red, and I think I am going to go into green next. So let's add some green. Green is done. Let's rinse, switch, and go into some yellow next. Orange. Let's get some orange on here. Okay, last of my orange is finished. So I used all of the colors, and you might say, hey, there's still some white spaces. But I kind of like leaving these sections white, and it's okay if you would like to leave a few spots of yours white. You can paint every section if you want to. If you are planning on leaving some white areas, you can't just paint like one or two and then leave the rest white because that will look unfinished. But if you have sections that are sort of spread out, like I've got a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, it blends in with the rest. It kind of offers the eye a little bit of breathing room from all of the color. So I kind of like leaving just a few little pieces white. So I am finished, which means I need to clean my brush. So I'm gonna wiggle it in my water cup, and then I'm just gonna take it and I'm going to press into my paper towel. And if I still see color, I'm gonna wiggle it one more time, and I'm gonna keep pressing. Do not take your brush and scrub it in there because then that ruins the hair. So I'm just kind of pinching it in there, and I don't see any more color. I'm going to keep it nice and pointy. I'm going to lay it back in the tray, and I'm going to leave this open and let it dry on the table. Same thing with my painting. I'm going to leave this flat. I don't want to pick it up because if I have a lot of water, it might start dripping. So I'm just going to leave it set. It should dry pretty quickly. And then make sure that you photograph it. When you photograph, try to crop out the table or the background as best as you can. You can pull those little cropping tools to the corners. So all we see on Art Sonia is your beautiful piece of art. This will get posted to Art Sonia under Britto Pumpkins. If you need a little bit of extra time, this is a lot of painting, you may not get this done in one 30-minute session. Take your time. I would rather you take your time and say, hey, you know what, I didn't finish it. I'm gonna have to go back to it next week. You can set it aside and come back to it. Don't worry about, oh, it's gonna be late, it's gonna be late. Just turn it in when I would rather you turn in something that's beautifully painted than rush through it just to get it done. So don't worry about having this finished in one sitting. If you need next Friday to also work on this, I am okay with that. I will still post a lesson, but I will let you know if you still need to work on this, you can work on this again next time. I hope that you're enjoying doing this. I love painting with watercolors. Hopefully you do too. I cannot wait to see your beautiful paintings. Have a great week, guys.